Good morning. Welcome to Brittney on the Bluff, brought to you each weekday by Today's Computers, First Community Bank, Whitworth's Gift Chest Jewelers, and Key Drugs in Poplar Bluff. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I tell you what, we've got some big news from the library. Shon Griffin in with us this morning. How you doing, sir?
Good.
He's a
Happy New
loner
Year.
today. Usually we got a couple of y'all in here, but you can handle it, can't
I'm
you?
flying solo today.
I think you can make it. And you know, he was just telling me right before we started the show about, I'm just going to call them records, because when you're talking about having more attendance at your library than you've ever had before, getting more new items, and those are record-breaking kinds of deals.
Yes, they are.
So congratulations.
Thank you. On behalf of the whole library, thank you.
Last year, how many people crossed the doors of the library last year? This is amazing.
We were counting up right until the time we closed on the 31st, and we exceeded 101,000 visitors.
Wow.
So
in little old Poplar Bluff.
Here in Poplar Bluff, that's right.
101,000 times people walked into the library.
Passed through those gates and doors.
And took advantage of all the goodies inside.
Came in for story time.
It's
checked
like
out books, used the computers.
It's one of those kind of places that, you know, you can come in and you can think, oh, I'm just going to pick out this book that I've been wanting to read, and you run in, you get it, and you go, but I got some time to kill. Let me take a look around
Start browsing.
here. It's like a treasure hunt.
Never know what
because
you'll
there's
find.
so much stuff and so many cool things.
That's right. And as you're saying that, yeah, we added over 5,200 new items this last year alone.
Wow.
That's adult materials, children's materials.
That's amazing.
Books, audiobooks, videos.
Over 5,200 items.
New items that you can
New items.
pick up, check out, take home with you.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
It is.
And it's all because of the little tax deal that passed a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, we actually have the ability as a community, we support our library enough that you can do these things. You can get all these new items.
That was one of the promises was that we would double the book budget for purchase or materials budget, I guess you'd say, because it's not just books that we're buying, but doubling that because it had been a stagnant number for so many years.
Yeah.
So we were able to include that, and it's definitely showing on the shelves with the numbers that we have. And I don't have the latest circulation statistics just because we haven't run those yet, but
that'll be interesting to hear too.
But as of the end of November, we were running 4% above last year. Let's
step back just a little bit in time here and talk about that tax initiative that made this all possible. When did that happen? Wasn't it just like 2 years ago?
Yes,
2 years ago.
That was 2011 when that passed, and so that allowed, through special dispensation of the state legislature, they allowed us to vote on having a sales tax, and in order to collect, because normally libraries are supported by property taxes,
right.
And so the decision was made to try to pass the sales tax initiative, and it did, and it more than doubled our budget, about 2.5 times
more
or so.
Than double.
So right around $1 million budget.
Huge difference.
Definitely huge, and that's allowed us to grow and do so many things right now.
How long have you actually worked at the Poplar Bluff Library?
Next month it'll be 10 years.
10 years. So you were here well before that.
So yes,
in your
opinion,
in your opinion, what do you think the library would be doing today if that hadn't passed?
Those were things that were discussed. In order to provide services that, do we not buy as much material? Do we have to close a day a week, or shorten hours across all the days of the week?
Was it to that point where you were having to look at
those were all things that were possibly on the table. So that was certainly something that was there, and instead we have been able to buy even more stuff. We have additional staff help with that. We're open on Sundays now, so we extended our hours even more there, and we've been able to do so many great things with that.
Yeah.
And that was all thanks to the voters for putting their trust and faith in us. And I hope that
Great.
we're meeting their needs and demands and desires. And
Well, I think you're definitely doing that, especially with the new computer equipment and the computer classes that you offer and that sort of thing. For
that's
maybe
exactly it.
a
Our
family here in town that's struggling, they may not be able to afford a computer. They may not be able to afford internet service or Wi-Fi, and it's always available to them at the library.
exactly is. And and that's one of the things that as a rural area, as a what is normally considered an underserved area population or something like
Sure.
that. It's amazing, the number of people though that so many people think, oh yeah, everybody has a computer, everybody has internet, everybody has this.
No,
So
they
many
don't.
don't.
They don't
and
yet.
and we
Maybe
and we
someday, but not
we
yet.
have regulars that come in every day.
Yeah.
It's
I know
it's part of
some.
their
Yeah.
routine. They come in, they use their computer time, they pick up videos, whatever it is, they're there on a regular basis. And if that had never passed, and we'd say we had to close one day a week to conserve money. That
Right.
then that's a day that we're not providing a service for those people. And
That's
and they would be
true.
missing
Those
out
folks
that,
wouldn't be able to
and
access their email that day or get to the papers or, whatever
whatever it is that
whatever they use.
they need,
Yeah.
and maybe and some people, that's the way they stay in contact with their family. They're on Facebook, sending messages, or
Sure.
again, emailing. Sometimes that's their way of communicating, and if we weren't there that day, then they're missing out, and
Wow.
we don't want to be doing that to anyone. We want them to have as much access as they possibly can.
Do you get the opportunity very often to talk with people that work at other libraries in Missouri or maybe even our surrounding states and stuff? Do you get the chance to talk to those folks from time to time?
Yes.
Conventions,
there's
workshops, that kind of thing.
there's different meetings and things like that. And
So what did those people,
collaborative.
when you get the chance to tell them, oh, well, we've added this many items this year and we've been able to do this and we've extended our hours to Sundays and what do they say? Because I can imagine there's probably libraries all across the country that are really struggling.
Yes, yeah. There are some of the large libraries that close branches entirely. They just
Wow.
completely shut down. So that neighborhood area, they have to travel further now.
So what do they say to you
So-
when you're from little old Poplar Bluff and you're going, yeah, man, we're open 7 days a week.
There was
and-
a meeting that was held here for summer reading, for the Southeast Missouri region, and we held it here, and it was amazing how many of the other libraries they were how I don't want to say how little they spent on things, but we would talk about, oh well, so and so sponsors the magic show, so and so sponsors this, so and so sponsors the just various activities throughout the summer, and they were just amazing, and they were just absolutely amazed at the amount of support that we get from the community,
Yeah.
and how much that they put into helping out the library, do these extras that and we can make that money go
yeah.
even further than I mean, they were kind of surprised,
I
a
would
little
think
blown away,
so,
and
yeah.
and
I would think some of them would be going, hey, how'd you do this?
and
How did you
I
make
think,
this
and that was
happen?
what some of them were doing. They were asking, like, well, how do you go about this? And so those collaboration times that you have with other libraries and librarians and staff, it's
How
you can
cool.
always learn things, and those best practices,
Right.
how do you do things. So
I just think we have a lot to brag about in our community.
mhm.
And when you go, that's the thing is, when you're here, you may not even realize how good we got it, kind of thing, till you go someplace else and maybe check out their facilities, their libraries, and whatever else a community has, and then you go, wow, Poplar Bluff's got it going on, man, and you don't even know it sometimes. And I think our library's that way
we
too.
hear it
People don't
weekly
realize.
that people are like, I haven't been here in years, or this is my first time here, and really is amazing that they're just struck by the building itself,
Well, yeah.
and just coming in, and they just kind of look around, and it's not what they expect.
Wow.
And I guess of a library, it's not a little small space with dusty old books or anything like that.
Right.
They're just absolutely blown away, and people will come in. I didn't know you could get videos here. I didn't know that
They
you could
still
get
don't know that, do they?
I didn't know that
something?
you had. I mean, we get people calling in asking if we have computers.
Really?
And
still don't know about
and
that.
so
Yeah, we got computers. We got good computers.
good computers. That's right. So so there's
Nice.
we do get those calls, asking about things. So, and it's people from the surrounding area, out of town, people coming in for the tech talks on Thursdays, help with those devices. We're kind of expecting a little rush on that now that
Oh yeah.
Christmas is
I'm
over,
sure
and
lots of people
those
got
people got their
devices.
devices, those new smartphones or e-readers, different things like that. So I can see that really
Oh, I bet.
keeping us busy for a while in the next month or 2 months here. So we'll certainly have those going on, and try to get people up to speed on that and
Excellent.
help them out.
Well, if people are still saying they didn't know you had computers, they probably don't know that they can get a library card in any contiguous county
Right.
to Butler
For
County as
free.
well. So
And that was another one of those promises that was made with the Prop 1 initiative, was we would drop the non-resident fee for those people,
Well,
so
yeah.
allowing even more access.
And I love that because I definitely appreciate y'all being here for Poplar Bluff, but I love the fact that all these small towns around Poplar Bluff can take advantage of the services as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, free for any county, anybody who lives in a county that touches Butler County as well as Butler County, free library cards.
Mm-hmm.
That thrilled me when that one started. Not that it cost that much for a
It was
card.
$35,
but every
for
little
some
bit
people,
helps.
$35 is
can be kind of challenging to come up with sometimes. So
especially if you weren't expecting it, and you're like, oh, I don't have any cash on me right now, or
Yeah.
I didn't bring my checkbook.
right.
So that would end up turning some people away then, but now it's not so.
So even with over 100,000 people walking through the doors, it's still kind of that hidden treasure in Poplar Bluff.
We hope
It's
to
this
be
great
one of the best
library.
unkept secrets.
Yeah.
We want to be an unkept secret. We don't want to be a secret. We want
Right.
people to discover us.
So spread the word. You know,
Yes.
if you've been in lately and you go, wow, check this out. Or you walk back there and you see all those pretty new computers sitting there and you go, holy moly. Or the DVD section, a lot of people still don't know that you even have DVDs, and you've got this great selection of DVDs. Some classic movies and television and documentaries and just all kinds of great programming that's available absolutely free. Audiobooks.
Audiobooks.
Another one that people may not even realize what a great selection you have of audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
So get in there. If you haven't been to the library lately, make 2015 your year to become a regular there,
Yes.
because you'll find all kinds of cool resources. Not to mention the whole genealogy thing.
Yep.
That's another big resource that's there at the library.
And I was hearing before coming on the air, this day in history for Poplar Bluff.
right.
So
And yes,
so
thank
we've
you.
been doing that for 6 months now. So we started that July 1st. So we've been doing that
Wow.
for 6 months now.
We appreciate
And here
it,
we are
too.
getting to be the first ones on your show for
Yeah,
the year.
for 2015.
So-
the first
so
guests
the
of
first-
2015. Oh my goodness, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's
So-
amazing how the last year flew by, and I'm sure this next one will too.
Man. So here we are in 2015. What kinds of special offerings have you got coming up? I know you've got to have some
we always have a
special
list.
programs and stuff.
We
Yeah.
do. We always have things coming up. So, winter reading will begin in February, and that will run for about 5 weeks. So,
Okay.
but that's the middle of February, and we'll be on before that. So we'll have more
Sure. To
details,
remind everybody.
and I'm sure Aaron will have the details worked out on all the prizes and what everything's going on. But that will be coming up, and so like I said, that's February. So we have that coming up, and
Another chance for the kids
another.
to earn some cool prizes by
That's right.
reading. Teach them to love to read.
That's right. And so we have that. We're going to have the uh, Sunday movie matinee continuing, theater Thursdays continuing, for the kids movies on Thursday evenings at 4:30. So those,
Excellent.
you know,
How did
have
that
a
go through
lineup,
the
so-
Christmas season? You were showing Christmas movies through.
it went
December.
well. The all of them, I think, they were all very well attended.
Good,
So
good.
and including the one with Bing Crosby that was the Sunday movie matinee.
Aw.
So I think a lot of people really enjoyed that. And actually, one of the theater Thursdays, we actually had a family come in, and it was their first time ever to the library.
Oh,
And
wow.
they don't live here in town, but it was their first time in the library, and it was the first time seeing something on such a big screen. They said they didn't go to the movies, and it was essentially the first time their kids had a chance to go to the movies.
Oh, wow.
And so and they got their popcorn, their little bottle of water or juice drink or whatever, and so they were just amazed at it,
Wow.
and just absolutely enjoyed it, and said that they would be back, and so it was really kind of a touching, that it was like, wow, this is their kind of first experience and for the library, and it was just so absolutely amazing for them.
That's cool. I
So-
never really thought
so-
about that, about a family not being able to. Movies are not cheap,
Oh no. No.
and you start talking about taking 2 or 3 kids and
And then you
mom
get
and dad, and if you get any kind of
anything to
refreshment
eat.
at all,
I mean, and
Wow.
that's, and
Isn't
I'm
that
not putting down the
cool?
movie theaters. I mean, they're
No,
they're in
no,
business,
they're trying to make a living too. I love
but-
going to the movie theater. I love walking in that dark room and sitting down and the lights going out, and
just getting absorbed
yeah,
into that.
there's something about that to me that I get lost in a movie like that. So I love that. I'm not bad-mouthing theaters at all, but I was just thinking, I had never really thought about how, a family
I mean-
may not be able to genuinely take their family to a movie these days.
It can run,
And you're
what,
giving them a
40,
chance-
$50, $60, and,
Yeah.
so
Wow.
so if you kind of multiply that out, thinking about, if someone comes weekly, or even just once a month, okay, let's say they come 10 times, okay, they've saved almost maybe $600.
Wow.
So it's just amazing, and so it's nice to be able to provide that,
Yeah.
and give that entertainment option.
In a completely family-friendly atmosphere, and just that's just really cool. I like that. Wow.
So it's all
First
all
movie.
part of.
I'm still blown away. Their first movie. How
So
sweet.
yeah, so it was absolutely wonderful to kind of have that experience. And
Do people
so-
tell you? I mean, when they come in the first time, do they almost always say, "Hey, it's my first time here"?
Yeah, well, I mean, people come in, they're getting a
Right,
library card or
right.
something like that. But sometimes it's just that, oh yeah, I haven't been here in a few years. I'm
Right.
back now, whatever. But yeah, they get that. So you kind of tell them, okay, this is here's what's over here. This is this way, things like that. So you do kind of get a little bit of that. But whenever they make a point to stop back by on their way out, and kind of say, wow, this is what I didn't expect. This I didn't expect to find that.
So you hear that frequently, huh?
It's nice to hear, and
Oh,
and
nice.
it's just fulfilling to have that opportunity to know that you're providing that service, or exceeding their expectations, that you're so much more.
Right. So, there you go. If you're one of those families that you're looking for something fun to do with the kids that doesn't cost a fortune, here you go. Here's the perfect opportunity. Or maybe you've got neighbors with kids and you know that they really are really fighting to even just pay the rent and that kind of thing. Take those kids to the library for the movie
And,
or for story time or something like that. It'll mean so much
even
to
just
those
coming
children.
in and looking at the fish tank, we've
Yeah.
added, I think we've added like 30 new
Oh,
fish.
really? Oh, I need to get down there then.
So there was a group of, it was a small school of, I don't remember the name of the fish, but then
Cool.
couple different things. So yes, so the it's looking very lively in that fish
Oh,
tank
I'm gonna have to get down
downstairs.
there and check that out. It's been a little while since I've been down there.
So it's
Very yeah.
definitely,
Bring the kids to check out the fish, to check out some books, and you know, maybe their mom and dad are really just struggling so hard right now that they don't think about that. You know, they may not. It's hard to think. Let's go to the library when you're trying to pay for food,
right.
you know, and that kind of thing. Even though it's free, you just don't think of it. So, I would like to encourage our listeners to reach out to their neighbors,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
friends, and those people in your church that you know. You
And
know, they don't even have to say anything sometimes, and you know they're hurting, they're
mhm.
struggling. So, grab the kids, ask my, hey, let us take these kids to the library, give
Yeah,
you a
give
few
mom and dad
minutes
a break
peace.
or something
Yeah,
like that, and bring
and
them in.
yeah, I like
Now
that
the only thing
idea.
is with getting a library card, we do
Right,
require
right.
parents to be there.
Sure.
But if that adult that's coming in has a library card, then or they could either get one for themselves, or
Right.
or if they already have one, then they could check out the books for them. I mean,
Yeah.
and
Or go
be
to
a
the
part of it.
movie or whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever. Just be a part
Be a
of
part
the
of that,
library.
and bring them
Very
in.
cool.
So
So we've
it's
got movies coming up. We've still got story time. That's always a
absolutely.
popular. Tell us when story time is.
It's on every Tuesday at 10:30. This last Tuesday, Sarah had a New Year celebration, so that was the theme. So they were celebrating New Year's in story time.
Cool.
So that was fun. Coming up, something else that's coming up in February is the swing stations will be back.
Oh,
So they will
nice.
be coming in on 17th of February. So I know I'm kind of jumping ahead there with that, but
That's
they
okay.
were
Just kind of
we've had people ask, when are they coming back? When are they coming back? And so they say
excellent.
they will be coming back. And so that was
Now, isn't that something cool when the library is just alive with the sound of music?
yes.
Because you know
Coin a phrase.
you just that whole quiet library mentality is out the window here in Poplar Bluff. That's not the goal. So,
So yes, we've
of
got
course
them
there
together.
are. If you
There
come
are
in and
quiet spaces.
yeah, if you need some
quieter
quiet,
spaces.
there's some, there's some little corners and such that you can kind of get in and get quiet and
But
relax
yeah,
a little bit. But
you'll
it's
walk
just
through the
not one of
building
those where
and
you're ever going to get shushed or anything like that. So,
do have to occasionally step in. some some people are a little more boisterous and exuberant than others.
okay, so not completely no hushing, but well, anyway, that's funny.
I've stopped a few kids from running before, so
Well, yeah, you don't want to get too crazy in there. That's funny. That's funny,
but at
it's
least they're
just,
excited.
yeah, and it's not
They're
the
happy,
traditional,
so yes.
that traditional, what everybody used to think of as a library.
Right.
That's really gone. So
That's but there are places that are still holding on to that, and those
yeah,
are the libraries that you see that are dying.
yeah,
They really are. They're downhill. They don't, people aren't coming to see them, but they're not exploring new options.
right.
And we're
Keeping up
constantly
with the
wanting,
times.
we're constantly looking for something new. What's the next big thing to come along, and we're constantly looking forward to something else.
I like that.
So
I like that a lot.
yeah,
Nice.
so we definitely try to innovate.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something constant we do. We've talked about before. Summer reading ends, and we start making plans for the next year. Then,
Right.
before you know it, there's, you start booking the entertainers and getting the materials ready for whatever the theme will be that year. Getting that purchase, getting it in, and having it ready, and they do like the summer reading bags, so they're stuffing bags with all the different materials. So that's takes time to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
you're talking months of preparation for some things. And then we have our centennial coming up in 2016. We'll be actually
Oh my goodness, I accidentally hit a button. Sorry. You didn't hear it, but there was music all of a sudden. Sorry about that.
music in the library.
My elbow touched the mouse over here. Golly, that scared me. Got a shot of adrenaline with that one. Well, what else is coming up? So we've got the swing stations coming up.
Yes, we do, and the book club is always meets
Still
the,
going strong.
Yes, they
Excellent.
are. They this last month they picked up The Farm by Tom Rob Smith, and so they picked it up. So they'll be discussing that on the 11th
Of January.
of January.
Wow.
So that's when they'll be discussing that, and they will be picking up a book titled "The Look of Love." How appropriate for February.
February.
How appropriate.
I thought that too. So if somebody wants to be a part of the book club, how do they actually get started with it?
Show up.
They don't have to sign up
don't
or
have to sign up. They just
register, nothing like that.
Show
Just
up.
be there.
There's regulars, and some people, sometimes bring somebody new with them, and somebody has something else they're doing that day, so they're not there, but they hold a steady number of about 7, 8, 10 people that are just there regularly, and
Excellent.
it's so nice. They come in, have their coffee and cookies, and discuss the book and pick up the next month's book, and we always try to get those in multiple formats, so they're either an ebook or a print book or large print or an audio book, so that way we can try to
Just whatever you need.
cater to
Yeah.
however someone's reading style and habits are.
So if somebody's listening right now and they'd like to jump in on that one on the 11th with The Farm, are there some additional copies of The Farm available now? Or are they all checked out?
We've
or?
had some copies that some of the members have already completed. So
Okay.
yeah, so there have been some that are available for them to pick up if they come
So
in and
if you
ask
want
for
to get started,
the newest
now's
book
the
club
time.
book.
Stop by, pick up The Farm,
Yes,
and then be there on the 11th.
and discuss it and and see what you think of it.
I like that.
It's always interesting, the discussions
Yeah.
and
Because it's interesting how you can have 6 different people read the exact same thing, and they're going to get 6 different things out of it most of the time. And it's kind of interesting to hear what somebody else.
because you're basing it on
know.
some of your own experiences.
True. Yeah.
Someone has one
Personal
experience,
experience,
someone has that a completely opposite experience, and it it colors their view of how
what they're reading. Yeah.
how it's coming across to them. So,
Interesting.
and then the author probably has his own.
Yeah,
own
he may have meant it
interpretation.
something completely different, but
So,
it's just I just find that fascinating how differently we interpret things sometimes. And like you say, it's because it is colored by our personal experiences, our past, where we've been, what we've done.
hmm
And so it's kind of neat. And then you get together and you talk about that with somebody else, and all of a sudden you go, I get that too. And you see things a little differently. You may experience things a little bit differently after
You're like,
talking
"Oh, I
with some
hadn't
other
considered
people.
that."
Yeah, exactly. So very cool. So book club going strong.
yes, they are. They've
Meeting on the 11th.
been
What time?
doing at
At
it's a 2. Yes,
That's what I was thinking too. So on,
Yep.
on January 11th at 2, I'm going to be talking about The Farm. And then, of course, they'll have a different book for the next month.
Yes,
so.
The Look of Love, and I don't know how to say the author's name.
One of those.
Sarah, and the last name is Jio.
Oh, that's...
So I'm not
yeah.
sure
I don't
what the pronunciation
Geo?
on that
Geo,
there
Geo,
is. So
Geo. We'll say Geo. Geo. Just
Geo,
for lack of a
or-
better term
or
here.
Yeo, or I mean,
Yeah.
there's different possibilities there. So
Interesting.
I haven't heard it pronounced anywhere. So I don't have a reference point for that. But
And if
that's the author.
if you're one of those people that you can't make book club, maybe it's on at a time when you're working or whatever, bear in mind they also, after they have done a particular book, will put together bags with all these different, like you said, the large print, the audio books, the regulars, whatever. in a bag. So if you wanted to start your own book club,
You can
you
do
can
that.
just check out this bag with the multiple copies of the book, pass them out to the people that want to join in your discussion, and you're good to
And
go.
you're good to go. And we allow
How
those
cool is
those to check
that?
out for 6 weeks, so that way you have time to pick it up, get it
Get them
distributed,
distributed,
read,
read.
meet, and then get things kind of
That's
collected back up.
amazing.
So that way
Isn't
you're
that
not
cool?
crunching for time there. So that's the nice thing about that. It does give you a little bit more time to get that get that
Right.
all squared away
Maybe
and make those
you
plans.
could start a book club in your neighborhood, or
Exactly.
in your church or whatever. And the library is so good about just providing those for you. So very cool. Very
Yes.
cool. What else?
So,
What else? I know you got more. I
oh.
feel like we're probably going to run out of time before we get through it.
Oh, we always have so many things that are going
Yeah.
on. We'll be having web events,
Okay.
where everybody belongs, everyone
That's
belongs for the
anytime
kids
school is
as
out.
whenever the school's out,
Right.
and that'll be on January 16th
Okay.
and January 19th. So they're around in the middle of the month, and those happen from 1 to 3. And the 16th, that'll be the Friday, and they'll be doing Wii games. So
Fun.
they'll be having different games that they'll have playing, and they'll be doing a movie then on that Monday then.
Okay.
So there'll actually be an extra movie in the month of January.
Yeah.
So
Just keep the
that's
kids entertained and
keeping them
busy
entertained.
and focused on reading when they're actually out of school those 2 days. So
Yes. So
cool.
and granted these aren't reading events,
Events, right? But it's
but
still, when
they're
you're
still
at the
coming into the
library,
library.
yeah, because they may come in to play Wii and they may check out 2 or 3 books while they're
Right.
there. I mean,
And so they come in and pick up the whatever the latest book is in a series, or they see the videos. You just never
exactly.
know what it is you'll find.
Very cool. Very cool. What else?
So what else? Oh my, there's also, before I forget,
Uh-huh.
Friends of the Library. This is their annual membership drive. Time is
Ah,
January.
okay.
And so joining Friends of the Library, that'll be coming up. They'll be sending out their membership renewals, or people can contact the library for more information on how to join the Friends. And the Friends support the library programs. They provide additional funding for summer reading and the different reading programs and those incentives, and pay for some of the programs then. And so that's one of their goals, to do that. And
That's
so
nice.
that's definitely
That's for those
something we
people
can.
that want to take that extra step to make sure that we have an outstanding library.
Yeah.
Just that little extra goose to make sure extra things happen. So very cool. Very cool.
So they are a 501c3 nonprofit. So those donations, or those that money that you give to them then is tax deductible then.
Uh-huh. Excellent.
So that's another little perk there.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
definitely. So but they're doing that coming up. So and
Cool.
they usually have meetings, um, usually on the first Monday of each month. So they certainly you will welcome people to come to their meetings. Usually it's at 6 o'clock on Mondays, which is right after the regular library board meets.
Uh-huh.
So which they meet at 4 o'clock on the first Monday of the month. So, but yeah, the Friends will meet, and so they're always looking for new members and people to help do projects or get things done. So,
Excellent.
and Madon Traxel is actually the head of the Friends. So she is doing that. So she's wearing that hat as well as many others she does.
No kidding. It's amazing. I always say those who do everything. So, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break, okay? I know he's got more to share with us about some upcoming events at the library. Uh, I don't know, maybe there's some new programs. We'll find out in just a few right here on Today's Talk, KWOC, 9:30 a.m. and 93.3 FM. And welcome back to Brittney on the Bluff, brought to you by Whitworth's Gift Chest Jewelers, First Community Bank, Key Drugs, and Today's Computers in Poplar Bluff. Of course, we're talking with Shon Griffin from the Poplar Bluff Municipal Library. Oh, gosh. I still can't get over that 101,000 visitors.
That's right.
Wow. In little old Southeast Mo.
So
we're doing pretty good, aren't we? I mean,
pulling
really.
in the numbers. That's right.
I think we're doing pretty good here. Right before the break, we were talking about some upcoming events, book club and the theater Thursdays and all those kind of deals. And we were talking off the air about the Tech Talk Thursday has a new name.
Yes, I inadvertently was still calling it Tech Talk 2.0 because it's just what we've called it, but we're now calling it Book a Techie.
Book a Techie. So how's Book a Techie going to work now?
It's going to be basically the same thing.
The same thing.
It's just a little retooling there, just kind of calling it something different, but it'll still essentially be that 4 to 7 on Thursdays and booking someone, and we've had some points where we were doing like 15-minute, but now some that are 30 minutes or longer than, and we've added an extra person to that rotation now.
Nice.
So kind of to provide some more depth there. So
Excellent.
that's continuing to evolve as we speak.
And that's basically, if you have questions about, maybe you got a new tablet for Christmas,
right,
or like you say, a new smartphone or something along
new
that line.
Laptop, something like that.
Sometimes it's a little complicated to get them all set up just right, get everything working the way you need it, and all that sort of thing. And if you're not a computer junkie, if you're not like a Kim Commando, sometimes this stuff can be a little overwhelming.
Yep.
So basically,
you get you set up to download those ebooks or those
bring
e-audios
it into the library.
How to connect and what
They
programs you need,
you,
and
you can help them set up their email.
we can
Stuff
guide
like
people
that,
to things like that.
Kind of thing. So
there's
and
lots of opportunities there to.
Here's the big question: You're basically providing experts for us for this kind of a thing. What do you charge us for that?
Well, we could say we have a really high price, but it is free.
Isn't that something? Free, guys. Free advice.
You go to a store or something and maybe pay $50 or $100 or something like that, but if anybody out there wants to make a donation, feel free.
If you want to pay the techie, go right ahead.
Pay for that. Just feel free to stop by the front desk and we'll do that.
Tip your techie. That's hard to say. Be sure and tip your techie on the way out.
But yeah, otherwise, yes, it is free.
Free of charge, absolutely.
And one of your slogans for the radio station is free and informative, educational, and
free.
And free, yes. And
yep.
I was thinking, that applies to the library.
Hey, we're partners, aren't we?
So, that, I just thought, it just struck me, and I was like, oh, yeah.
That's us
too.
Feels good, doesn't it? I love that. I love
like
that
we're in
about
good
radio.
company.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So you got the Book a Techie. If you've got that new device and you got some questions about it and need a little help, go to the library. It's a great opportunity for you to get that information, and again, free of charge. Where if you had to go someplace else for it, you're probably going to pay a pretty good chunk for it. So
exactly.
Just another advantage of your local library here in Poplar Bluff. And if you are in a contiguous county, it's there for you too.
Exactly. Come and see us there, from there, wherever there is.
Wherever there is.
Somewhere out there.
And book a techie.
That's right.
I'm going to be saying that all day. Book a techie. Book a techie.
Your catchphrase of the day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. Have we got anything... Excuse me. Have we got anything coming up that's like totally new for 2015? Have you figured any of that stuff out yet, or still in the working stages?
We're constantly planning, like we were talking about earlier. And again, I mentioned earlier that this will be kicking off our centennial celebration coming up in April.
Wow.
So that's actually going to run run about a year and a half actually, is kind of what we're
Well,
envisioning.
that's a pretty big celebration. I think it
April
should.
is April. We'll be starting that during National Library Week, and having events then that go from that point all the way through to 2016, because then that will be our anniversary then for the centennial, but also that in April that year later, but then also it'll be 80 years in the building that we're in now. That is in
Really?
October.
80
So
years.
we will have been in the building for 80 years, the original structure there. So we've got plans coming up,
Wow.
different events coming up. So that is something that we actually have a committee working on right now with myself and a
Some
couple others,
special stuff.
other
Yeah.
staff and friends of the library, a couple community members. So to all brainstorm and come up with these ideas, and so we'll be rolling those out then over the next year and a half almost. So
Very
it's something.
cool.
So we're going to try to have multiple events and come at it from different ways. So
That'll be
and
cool.
we've been trying, and the Facebook people will Throwback Thursdays, and we've been
Yeah.
trying to post things like that for the library. Different things from our history.
That's
So
amazing.
so
I haven't.
posting those.
I've only been here like 17 years now. I didn't realize that the library had been in that same building that long.
hmm Since 1936.
Wow.
We were beginning to move, I believe, in August or September of 36, opened up in the first part of October, and held the Missouri Library Association meeting here in Poplar Bluff,
Oh,
at
wow.
the building there,
That you had this pretty new
because
facility
we had
to
this
show
brand
off.
new, and so that's coming up. So,
Wow.
or came up, and that was that we actually have the letter that yes, they accepted the invitation to hold it here in Poplar Bluff back in 1936, and Missouri Public Library Directors Association will actually be meeting here in Poplar Bluff in June, and so they will actually be here in June of 2016. But they won't actually be meeting in the library. There's not enough room in the library for all those,
Right,
but
right.
they're actually going to have the conference here,
Nice.
and it's their summer conference. So
Very
we'll have
cool.
lots of visitors from out of the area then that will be getting to see Poplar Bluff at that point. So, and help celebrate our centennial with us.
Wow.
So
Wow. 100 years.
100 years, 80 years, and so yes.
Very cool. Very cool.
So yes, so
It's
a
a
long
pretty building.
history.
It's a beautiful building. I can see how you've been managed to
And
stay in the same location because it
and
is such a
even
nice
and even though
facility.
it's been added onto, it
right.
flows.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't
It
look like it's all
not
choppy
too
like some places do.
contrasting buildings. It
Right.
flows. It just looks wonderful to be able to see the.
How many
see
square
that. So
feet is the library? Do you know?
I want to say about 20.
Wow.
About 20,000
20,000. That's a
square
good
feet.
size. Nice.
So yeah. So that's we trying to think what else there is. But that in that library originally everything was upstairs. All the books, everything was
Right,
upstairs.
yeah.
And downstairs was originally the theater or auditorium or whatever wording you would like to use for that. And then as the library grew, then they made that into the children's library downstairs then, and then we rearranged that then again with this last renovation then. So we've definitely have utilized the space in
yeah.
many different ways over the years, but
Sure.
we're constantly, like I said earlier, we're constantly trying to innovate and be providing those services that people want, that they're asking for, that they need. But trying to predict that sometimes isn't always possible, and something may sneak up on you, but we do. We're constantly learning and trying to see what we can do to be
Figuring
better.
out the best way to do things.
Be as the best we can.
Absolutely.
And
And we appreciate that.
So yeah,
And one of the cool things, if you haven't been to the library lately, maybe the last time you went you couldn't find something you wanted or that sort of thing. Remember, they've added over 5,200 new items just in the past year. That's a lot of new stuff, a lot of new books, a lot of new DVDs, a lot of new audiobooks, a lot of new
posted
ebooks.
the
That's a
day
lot
after.
of
Yes, and we have
stuff,
that's
man.
something else is part of the Charlie Classics is we're trying to make sure that we have all those available as ebooks and audiobooks, so that that those students with their MacBooks and can
And
utilize
readers.
that.
I've seen a lot of the kids at Boys and Girls Club with e-readers, more than
Hmm.
I would have ever dreamed. I guess they like the technology end of it.
Right.
But it's like they prefer that to a traditional book. I prefer a traditional book.
Hmm.
But a lot of the kids are using those, so
So
I
yeah,
can see how that would be
so we've been trying
valuable.
to make
Yeah.
sure that we have those lists up on our website under the teen page, and it shows you. I mean, it's a chart. There's a junior high list, the senior high list, and it tells you if we have it in print, if we have it in audio, if we have it as a download,
Oh, that's
download
cool.
e-audio. So it gives you all the different formats there. So
Very cool.
you can, and the titles are clickable. You can click on that and get going with it and see what we have available. So it's wonderful.
Well, we're out of time, but basically what we're trying to tell you is the library's a happening place,
We are,
okay?
absolutely.
And for 2015, they can help you meet a lot of those goals that you've set for yourself. Maybe some financial advice books, that sort of thing, some special teaching. Maybe your New Year's resolution was to read more in 2015. Well, there you go. Whatever.
We
They're
have
there to
books
help.
there for you.
They're there to help, aren't you?
That's right.
Thanks, Shon.
Thank you.
As usual, thank
And
you
Happy New
so
Year.
much. Thank you. Happy New Year to you, too. That's it for Brittney on the Bluff for today, but we'll do it again on Monday right here on Today's Talk, KWOC, 9:30 a.m. and 93.3 FM.